If the current Raw and Smackdown segments feel a little boring, a little less energetic and a little less hyped, that's because they are. There was a time when just a normal segment of Raw would have championship exchanges, WrestleMania-worthy matches, and gut-wrenching promos all in the same show. There was a time when you couldn't wait for Friday to watch or attend SmackDown live because the craziness that was about to erupt was unpredictable. You just didn't know what was gonna happen, and the only way not to miss out was to watch it yourself. Now, you can afford to miss a segment of Raw or SmackDown because the only thing interesting is John Cena destroying Cody Rhodes on the mic, and you can always watch that on YouTube. If you even tune in on Netflix and you see no Roman Reigns, no John Cena, no Rock, no Mami, the chances of you logging off are pretty high. So what has changed? Why is WWE not as interesting as it once used to be? Why does it feel like they are not putting effort into Raw and SmackDown? Why does the hype feel so forced? Let's get into it. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to be the first to know when we upload new videos. Let's start by addressing the biggest elephant in the room that everyone keeps ignoring: talent underutilization. Now, the current roster in WWE doesn't have as many huge name superstars as it once had, but it does have a lot of talent. A lot of extremely skilled and star power superstars, most of whom are in their prime, but are severely lacking in major storylines. I'm talking about people like Braun Strowman, once an unstoppable force in WWE. Now I hardly ever notice him. People like Bayley, Bianca Belair, once huge names in the women's divisions, but now they're being buried. I mean, Bianca just won the Elimination Chamber and is headlining WrestleMania. So maybe they plan on bringing her back into the main event spot. But Bayley, where's her justice? Bayley has such an enviable track record in WWE. I mean, her and Sasha Banks have one of the best friendships and rivalries in the history of WWE, not just the women's division. Now she's being paired with no-name superstars to help push them to stardom, while she herself is fading from the spotlight. We have guys like The Miz, who I think is the most underrated superstar in WWE history. Guys like Drew McIntyre, who worked so hard last year and deserves the main event spot, but is slowly fading from it. And this is all as a result of Triple H long-term storytelling strategy, which is great by the way, but here's the thing. When you focus on long-term storytelling, you can only do it for a select few superstars, which in this case is the superstars in the main event scene, guys like Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns, and you tend to forget the other more promising and talented superstars. I mean, look at Randy Orton right now. Randy is, I don't care what anybody says, the most talented superstar in the history of WWE. Not the greatest, which I definitely think he's among the greats. Not the most hardworking, but the most talented. The only person who comes remotely close in the modern era in terms of talent is Seth Rollins. Randy hasn't been in the main event scene for quite a while now, but because he's so good, he can't fade into obscurity like other superstars when they don't get a push. But still, it's not enough. Part of the reason Randy is lacking in the main event scene is WWE's insistence to make him a good guy, which, if you know anything about Randy Orton, you know that he doesn't have it in him to be a good guy. He is a viper, for goodness sake. I'm gonna make a video about this soon, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified when it's uploaded. Anyway, WWE has to redirect some of its focus to these other superstars and make really interesting storylines for them. And with Triple H in charge of creatives, I have the perfect person for the job: Stephanie McMahon. I mean, Stephanie has worked in WWE's creative for years. She has been involved in multiple storylines and has the right amount of crazy to make seemingly boring storylines extremely entertaining. She has even been an in-ring performer for a long time. She is perfect for the job. Triple H and The Rock can focus on the major storylines with their long-term storytelling strategy, and Stephanie and a team of writers can focus on the smaller but still very significant storylines and make them very more entertaining. That way, extremely talented superstars won't have to retire or fade into obscurity because they aren't being booked right. Solves the problem. But this whole situation starts and ends with this man, Vince McMahon. Yes, love him or hate him, SA offender or not, Vince was definitely a good promoter. You can say everything you want about him, but you can't say he wasn't good at his job. Vince Kennedy McMahon bought this wrestling promotion from his dad and turned it into a global, worldwide phenomenon. I don't know if people in America know how huge WWE is in other countries. Like, you could pick a random guy from a random country in Europe or Asia or Africa or South America, and they are more likely to know a WWE superstar than they are your favorite basketball player. And all that is on his back. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Now, you could say that Vince didn't always make the right decisions, but his ability to see talent and book in the right way was top-notch. Remember, the women's division was formed and was in its peak when he was in charge. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Bayley, Asuka, Bianca, Nia Jax. Go back to the era of Paige, Becky, Charlotte, and AJ Lee, even way back to Lita and Trish Stratus. These are legendary eras in women's wrestling, and Vince was in charge. Go over to the men's side. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Kane, Undertaker, John Cena, Jericho, Randy Orton, Kurt Angle. Vince practically made these guys superstars, and not a single one of them faded into obscurity, especially in their primes. I'm not saying Triple H is bad at booking. Triple H is definitely good at his job. I'm saying that he needs to also remember these other superstars that were at one point or the other in the main event scene, and not just use them to push younger or new talent. And I'm not saying that Vince McMahon should get back to his job. He's retired and has his legal battles to deal with. What I'm saying is that WWE should consider going to him once in a while for advice. Plus, they already have Stephanie, who knows the business in and out. Triple H has also been in leadership for a while, so they'll be fine, so long as they don't waste the talent they already have. But that will be all, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.